Welcome to the President's Diary, a weekly program where we highlight the work of His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali. On Monday, February 22, President Ali administered the oath of office on newly elected Region 8 Chairman Mr. Henley Payo and Vice Chair Ms. Clarice Francisco at the Office of the President. The President said the Batara-Siparuni region lies at the center of national development.
The head of state called on the new leaders to integrate themselves in the process of building stronger partnerships to move the country forward. Although having the smallest population, President Ali said Region 8 is extremely rich in natural resources and plays a key part in the country's biodiversity system and low-carbon development strategy.
This region therefore plays an integral part, it's a centerpiece in our national development. As you're aware, I've already announced that our development trajectory will be based on an expanded low-carbon development strategy. Therefore, Region 8 would continue to play a pivotal role in the advancement of this strategy and also as a core component of national development.
The President said the region will see tremendous investment and improvement in healthcare, education, and social services. The government will also be working to ensure the building of sustainable communities through sustainable livelihood programs and sustainable employment opportunities.
We also want to engage the region in the diversification of its localized economy, with particular attention to food security and agriculture. As you know, access to many of the communities within this region is very expensive. It requires air travel, and as such, the cost of transportation is an inhibitive factor in terms of regional development.
His Excellency was present on Monday evening as the country ushered in its 51st Republic Anniversary celebration at Parliament Buildings. The Commander-in-Chief was accompanied by First Lady Mrs. Arya Ali, Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, former Presidents Donald Ramotar and Samuel Hines, and current Ministers of Government and other officials were also in attendance.
This year's Republic Anniversary is being celebrated under the theme, One Guyana, celebrating March 51 through unity and diversity. The President, invitees and citizens watching the live broadcast were serenaded by Guyanese music and treated to dances and other performances. A number of Guyanese artists showcased their talents in grand style. Jackie Jacks and Roy Stewart teamed up with a vocal and saxophone duet. Bunty Singh performed one of his songs while there were dances from the St. Cuthbert's Dance Group and the Berbice Delights Dance Troupe. All the performers joined renowned Guyanese gospel artist Samuel Medas on stage for the grand finale. After the cultural presentation, spectators and guests were regaled by the marching of the Guard of Honor, followed by prayers before the golden arrowhead was hoisted.
President Ali, in his message on the occasion of Guyana's 51st Republic Anniversary on February 23, said Guyana's attainment of independence and republican status demonstrates our people's determination to lift themselves out of a state of deprivation into freedom.
Our country's national motto, One People, One Nation, One Destiny, is a tripod upon which our independence and republican statehood rests. The elements of our national motto commits us to the pursuit of unity. It affirms our sovereignty and shapes our ambitions. One Peoples acknowledge the different strands which constitute our country's ethnic diversity. It celebrates our rich and vibrant multiculturalism while promoting our common citizenship.
The President said the One Guyana project, which he launched recently, celebrates our oneness as stated in the national motto. President Ali said it is aimed at excising the vices of ethnic rancor, hatred, and divisiveness. It also seeks to break down barriers of mistrust, suspicion, and stereotypes, and foster greater tolerance and understanding.
The One Guyana project will encourage respect for the immeasurable worth of every citizen, regardless of his or her race, religious belief, or class. The establishment of a One Guyana Commission attests to the inclusive approach which is necessary to realize the ambitions which we set ourselves, both at independence and upon becoming a republic. As I alluded in my address to the National Assembly, the One Guyana Commission will be given legislative effect. It will harness the goodwill which exists in our society and to take the practical steps which are necessary and desirable to cement our society while respecting the diversity from which our oneness springs.
His Excellency on Wednesday, February 24, attended the 32nd intersessional meeting of the CARICOM heads of government. Guyana's delegation gathered at the office of the President on Shiv Chanderpaul Drive for the virtual session. Along with President Ali, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, the Honorable U. Todd, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mrs. Elizabeth Harper, Foreign Secretary Mr. Robert Broussard, and other officials were also part of the meeting.
President Ali on Thursday, February 25, said the CARICOM heads of government are actively working on an action plan to boost agriculture in the region. The Guyanese leader made this disclosure during the closing press conference of the two-day meeting of the CARICOM heads.
The discussions were aimed at looking at the entire value chain in terms of creating wealth, creating business opportunities, whilst at the same time improving our capacity and our output and making agribusiness sustainable for the region and moving towards greater food security.
The President said discussions were also held on the responsibility of governments to attain that goal. This relates to the way governments craft their national budgets, ensuring that strategic targets are outlined to support agricultural development, increase in yield, agribusiness, and agro-processing.
We discussed various incentive mechanisms in the report. We looked at where our competitive edge and advantages are. We looked at our competitors and to see where the differentials are and how we can actually build a model that help us to mitigate those differentials and lead us to competitiveness.
The President said the action plan would address breaking down barriers affecting trade in the region.
We look at some of the barriers affecting interregional trade and movement of our agricultural products, and we have established those barriers, and we have decided that we're going to work through a ministerial task force, the private sector organizations, and also through our subcommittee on CSME to come up with an action plan, not only to remove those barriers, but to identify some specific areas, some specific products, for example, poultry, the poultry industry, where we can develop a strategic approach to achieve the outcome.
President Ali on Friday held productive discussions with youths from Kwakwani, Upper Demerara, Berbice at his office on Shiv Chanderpaul Drive. The President listened to their concerns and the issues surrounding the community and its development. During the meeting, the head of state highlighted the development of the One Guyana Commission and his plans to give every citizen a fair chance to benefit from Guyana's wealth. He also outlined his youth policy plans, which promote youth empowerment. The President also committed to greater collaboration with the residents of the community. An official team is expected to visit the community next week for consultations. After the meeting, the residents thanked President Ali for affording them the opportunity to not only meet him, but for his commitment towards the development of their community.
This has been the President's Diary, where we took a look at His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali's week of activities. Thanks for watching. Join us again next week.